Hi, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Elevate with Erica. So, we are in it. We are in 2025, and I can't speak for you, but for me, 2024 held a lot of struggle, but also a lot of growth. And in 2023, I felt like I kind of lost control of a lot of things in my life. It felt like a lot of things were in shambles by the end of the year. So in 2024, I felt the need to get control of everything again. And like I needed to grip it all with every bit of strength that I had within me. And you know what? It was exhausting. It was an exhausting year. So as we step into 2025, I'm making a shift. And with that shift, my word for the year is release. And it's a simple word, but even just saying it out loud feels so powerful and impactful to me after 2024. Just saying it out loud today makes me take a big exhale. It makes my shoulders release, and it feels like a big relief to just release. And I'm ready to surrender. I'm ready to surrender what no longer is serving me, right? And what is out of my control. And I'm going to unpack what this means for me today. And I hope that it's going to resonate with you too. And the first thing that I'm releasing is control. In 2024, I gripped on tightly to outcomes on everything from my business to my marriage, to my kids, to my faith. I gripped on tightly to timelines regarding both my business and to some family legal issues that I'm facing. And I even gripped tightly to how others perceived my relationship with my husband while we're in a rebuilding season of our marriage, and how others perceived me through a transition as I'm working with a new company that's offering natural peptides. And I gripped on so tightly to things that I simply cannot control. And yes, mostly because in 2023, it felt like I had that rug ripped out in front of, right from under me, right when I was reaching like a high point in my business. But regardless of the why, the gripping exhausted me in 2024. And I spent so much energy trying to keep everything perfectly aligned. And this year, I just want to embrace the flow, to trust that things will unfold as they should, according to God's plan, even when it's messy or unexpected. That as long as I walk according to God's purpose for my life, that He will light my feet. And I don't need Him to light the path, just my feet. That's what I want to embrace in 2025. And the next thing that I'm releasing is the fear of messing up. I'm excited about this one. It goes hand in hand with releasing control. Because look, no matter how many episodes I've done on this topic, how many times I've coached others through exactly this, I still need the reminder myself sometimes because it just feels like so much went wrong at the end of 2023 and the beginning of 2024 that I didn't think that I had the capacity for anything else to go wrong. Have you ever felt like that? So I just stopped putting myself in places where I could mess up. And perfectionism, it just has a sneaky way of creeping in and whispering that mistakes are failures, no matter how much you work on this. But I know, as I've coached people through this all the time, that life is not about progress. Life is not about perfection, it's about progress, right? And so while I went through a little survival mode in 2024, where I just didn't want to face any more messy, I was just surviving, honey. I'm ready to leave that behind. And I'm ready to once again use mistakes as stepping stones, as learning opportunities. And look, I'm not like shaming myself for being in that survival mode in 2024 in that area of my life as far as taking on new projects. It had been a tough start, an end to 2023 and start to 2024. And that survival mode got me through to where I am today. And I'm really excited about a new year. I'm really excited about the idea of releasing. So I'm not shaming myself for that, but I am ready again to use mistakes as stepping stones. And I'm giving myself permission again to be human and to try and to stumble, to grow, to open myself up to opportunities again. And one of the first things that I'm starting with is my desire to launch my online fitness and nutrition coaching business. I knew I wanted to do it all of 2024, but I let the unknown stop me because I didn't want to face any more messy, right? And I don't know how to create this thing from scratch. I still don't know how to today. So what I told myself in 2024 is because I don't know how to create it from scratch, I'm just not even going to attempt to learn the first step, right? But I'm ready now. And this is the first thing that I'm going to start taking messy action on in 2025. Another thing that I'm releasing is the weight of other people's opinions and my tendency to try and control the narrative. Tough one for me. I had to stand up for my boys in 2024 in a way that I never thought that I would need to, but in a way that I always knew was in me if I had to. You got me, moms, parents? When you're publicly bashed through an experience that you wouldn't wish on any mother or any parent for that matter, it's a challenge to sit back and not want to share your side of the story immediately. It's a challenge to not want to share the truth. It's a challenge to let others be wrong about you. And I did a podcast episode on exactly that topic. And still, when something hits so close to your heart, like this with my children, man, it's tough to remember some of the inspirational words that a podcast you listened to said one time, right? And thankfully, though, my boys remained priority number one through it all in 2024. Not my pride or my ego or my side of the story. Maybe there will come a day when I can help others through something so painful, but today is not that day, and now is not that time to share it. And while there were so many points in the year when I wanted to share what I was going through, I finished the year releasing the desire to do it. And I have to tell you, it's actually pretty damn empowering. Like, you know that feeling when you walk away from an argument with your dignity? You release the need to be right or to win or to have the last word, and you walk away feeling so proud of yourself for that one. That's how this feels, but on a much bigger scale. Another huge thing I'm working to release this year, and notice I said working, this one will be tough for me. I'm releasing resentment because holding on to grudges and past hurts only anchored me to the pain of them. That is a powerful sentence, isn't it? So I want you to slow down and really hear this for yourself. Holding on to grudges and past hurts only anchors you to the pain of them. So why am I allowing those things to continue to hurt me? I give myself permission to forgive, not for them, not for them, but for myself. Through my growth in my faith in 2024, I've come to believe that anyone who has wronged us will have to answer to a higher power. And I trust that justice will be served, even if it's not in this life. I prayed over and over again for those who have hurt me to come to me with these long, heartfelt apologies, come to me with accountability for their actions, come to me with a never ending bucket of apologies. Like, no amount of I'm sorry's felt like it was enough. But I didn't get that answer to my prayers. Instead, I received the loss of my anger and my insecurities. I get to lose my anger and I get to lose my insecurities. How? Because I feel the release of resentment working in me. I'm not totally there yet, but I feel the work. I feel the progress. And the next thing I'm releasing is comparison. I started two new business ventures at the end of 2024, becoming a founder in a new natural peptides company and teaching fitness classes at a new local studio. And while again, comparison is something that I've done many episodes on, when you get in new rooms with new people, you have to remind yourself, even I have to remind myself, not to compare myself negatively to those other people. Like, oh, those instructors have been teaching way longer than me. Why is anybody going to come to my classes? And oh, those founders are seeing financial success with this new business way faster than I am. And it's easy to start wondering if you measure up when you're in new rooms with new people, especially, right? But we know this. We know comparison is the thief of joy. And this year, I'm determined to focus on my own journey, on my own God-given gifts, on my own story, and the value that only I can bring to others because that is my story. And you know what this is also doing for me, which is pretty cool? It's allowing me to genuinely celebrate others without diminishing myself. It's a moment for me to say, I love this for her, but I also love where I'm at and where I know I'm headed. Also, I'm letting go of overcommitting. This is another big one for me. And I have this habit of wanting to pursue all the things. I've shared this before here with you guys. Like, I have success in something, and then I always know that, like, okay, on to the next thing. I don't ever really sit in success. I don't really ever have just one idea that I'm working on. I just want to build every idea I have into this big business all in the same year. And the problem with that is that I've been given the gift of having lots of ideas. And while I think that they are actually all great ideas, it's unrealistic to think that I can do them all this year. The overcommitting, even when I have this great mapped out plan, right? I got my whole year mapped out. I broke it down into quarters, right? Because I listened to some seminar that told me how to break down my goals. It left me no room for life to happen. And as I found out in 2024, life definitely does happen. And spreading myself that thin in 2024 left me tired and overwhelmed and burnt out. And there's one thing that definitely does not thrive in that environment, and that is creativity. And creativity is needed for just about every one of my ideas that I want to build into a business. I would even argue that we all need creativity for our own well being, right? But this year, I'm focusing on a few projects that truly, truly light me up. Quality over quantity. And a couple of those projects I'm really excited about are, like I already said, I'm launching my online fitness business this year, and I want to create a branded clothing line around that as well. So that's a lot of things to be excited for in just 2025. It's a lot. And it's just two things, you guys. It's just two things. But like, I have to understand that those are huge things. Those are big things. Those are going to take a lot of my time to create and build into something that is successful. And lastly, I'm releasing disappointment. I was really disappointed in the way things were handled in a system that is supposed to look out for our children. And you know what? It didn't solve anything. I held that disappointment for over a year and it hasn't done anything for me but allow anger to unpack its bags and live right here. Maybe for you, it's unmet expectations or missed opportunities or plans that didn't work out. But I'm just ready to break up with the lingering sting. It doesn't define us. It's just a part of life's ebbs and flows. Like disappointments are going to happen. We know that. We tell our kids that. I'm ready to focus on gratitude because there actually was a good thing that came out of the situation. And I'm ready to focus on possibility because I believe that ultimately God's plans are way cooler than mine. So, why am I sharing all of this with you today? Because I know that I'm not alone in feeling the weight of these things. And maybe you've been carrying similar burdens. And maybe, just maybe, this is your reminder that you don't have to anymore. Release. You have permission to release, to let go, and to step into a year filled with ease and intention. Let's make 2025 the year of release, a year where we shed what's heavy and we embrace what's light and live with open hearts and open hands, because I think the world could use more of that. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can share your word for 2025 with me. You can tag me on social media or drop me a message using the texting feature in the show notes if you're on a podcast platform, or in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. Until next episode, friends, here's to releasing so we can rise higher.